boys and girls. For today's read aloud, we're going to be reading a book titled The Perfect Pet. This is written by Margie Palatini. The reason why we're reading this book this week is because starting next week in writing, you are going to ask to write one narrative, one information piece, and one opinion piece. So before we start the book, let's just take one moment to review the different types of writing that we've done in school this year. We worked at the beginning of the year during first trimester in our narrative writing. In narrative writing, we found and wrote about a small moment in our life. Remember the book we read, Roller Coaster, where the boy wrote about his first ride on that roller coaster. Then, in the winter, we were working on information writing. We started by writing about a topic in which we are experts on, and then we also worked on researching in order to write an information piece as well. So now here in third trimester, you're going to work on opinion writing. In opinion writing, writers try to convince their readers to see things their way. Now, in order to convince our readers to see things our way, we have to, of course, state our opinion, but we also need to give them reasons and then examples for our reasons. So this book, titled The Perfect Pet, is a really good example of how this girl convinces her parents of what she thinks to be the perfect pet. So let's go ahead and begin reading. Elizabeth really wanted a pet. Her parents really did not. They gave her a plant instead. So here's our main character, Elizabeth. We've already found out something very important about her. Mind you, it was a very good-looking plant, as cactus plants go, and it had quite a prickly sense of humor. Elizabeth named it Carolyn, which seemed to suit it just fine. It was absolutely no trouble, and it was a very good listener. Snuggling was a bit of a challenge. However, Elizabeth did manage a quick hug now and then. Elizabeth really did like the plant, but she still really wanted a pet, and she had a plan. The element of surprise. So, how about a horse? Huh? What? Who? Said father. Who? What? Huh? Said mother. So her first reason, the element of surprise. Finds her parents asleep in bed. Now here's her reasons for wanting a horse. I could ride it, give it carrots, lumps of sugar. A horse would be the perfect pet. What do you say? Father yawned. A horse is too big. Mother sighed. Our yard is too small. Why, it would eat us out of house and home, said father. A horse is not quite perfect, dear, said mother, going back to sleep. Not quite perfect, said father sleepily. Scratch the horse. Catch them off guard. What about a dog? Huh? What? Who? Said father as he stood in front of the mirror shaving. Who? What? Huh? Said mother, peeking from behind the shower curtain and dripping soapy water. I could take it for walks, teach it tricks, feed it treats, play fetch. A dog would be the perfect pet. What do you think? Father spit shaving cream. Dogs bark. They're much too loud. Mother grabbed a towel. They jump all over the furniture. A dog is not quite perfect, Elizabeth, said father as he shaved. Not quite perfect, called mother from the shower. Forget Fido. So Elizabeth is coming to her parents asking for different animals as pets. And she's giving reasons why it would make a great pet, and her parents are coming back with reasons as to why it would not make a good pet. Here's her next plan, the full stomach. You know what would hit the spot right about now, asked Elizabeth. I'm thinking A cat. Huh? What? Who? Said father. Who? What? Huh? Said mother. Elizabeth sure is persistent. A cat could lick the plates, curl up in my lap, drink leftover milk, and we'd always know what to do with all that extra string. A cat would be a perfect pet. So, how about it? Father picked up the newspaper. Cat scratch. Mother cleared the table. Cat shed all over. A cat is definitely not the perfect pet, said father. Achoo! I'm sneezing already, said mother. Cross off kitty. What animal do you think she'll ask for next? Oh, here's her next plan. Go for broke. How about a bird, bunny, turtle, fish, guinea pig, rat, any, all? Take your pick, said Elizabeth. Her parents looked at each other. Nope, afraid not. Not quite. Too fishy. Don't even go there. What's left? Moaned Elizabeth. Doug. Elizabeth was thinking she would never, ever find the really, really perfect pet. When? What do you know? She really, really did. In fact, she almost stepped on it. Right there on her rug. A bug. Elizabeth picked him up. She held him in her hand, looked him in the eyes. He wasn't too big. He most definitely was not too loud. He couldn't jump on the furniture, didn't scratch, didn't shed, and how much food could he possibly eat? He was the perfect pet. Carolyn agreed totally. There's Doug in Elizabeth's hand. Snug. Doug moved right into the lovely house in the corner of Elizabeth's room. It had everything a bug could possibly want and more, including his very own cactus plant, as Carolyn was only a hop, skip, and jump away. He truly enjoyed sunning himself in her sand. Of course, Elizabeth provided him with enough crumbs to satisfy any growing bug's appetite. This bug named Doug, who Carolyn has, or who Elizabeth has as a pet right now, you'll remember she didn't ask her parents about this. As expected, the relationship was a tad different than the usual. Doug could not give Elizabeth a pony ride. She could not take him for a walk. He could not catch a ball or fetch, no matter how many times they practiced. And try as he might, Doug just couldn't get the hang of playing with string. But he was very helpful with homework. He always knew where to put a decimal point or a period. And he loved snuggling up with Elizabeth each night for a story. What more could you ask? He was perfect. See how Doug comes in handy for the end of the sentence? Pretty clever. Unsnugged. With all those crumbs and plenty of sun, Doug grew by leaps and bounds. He was one big, healthy bug, and then some. The only trouble really came one Saturday morning many weeks later. Elizabeth's mother came into her bedroom to get the laundry, and there's a bug in that bed, she screamed. Notice how the author put that dialogue in all capital letters? That lets us, the readers, know that Elizabeth's mom shouted those words. A bug, shouted father, ready to swat. That's Doug, said Elizabeth very protectively. He's my pet. Her parents looked at each other. Pet? Pet, said Elizabeth, just like you wanted. He's not big like a horse. He isn't loud like a dog. He doesn't jump on furniture, scratch, or shed, and he hardly eats a thing. But a bug? Asked father. A bug? Repeated mother. Doug, said Elizabeth, and he's perfect. See all those reasons that Elizabeth gave her parents for why the bug was perfect? Not big, not loud, doesn't jump on furniture, scratch, or shed, and hardly eats a thing. One big happy family. Think we should have said yes to the dog? Whispered father to mother. Mother shrugged. I don't know. We have more room on the couch with the bug. Elizabeth smiled and tossed Doug a piece of popcorn. And there our story ends, The Perfect Pet. So at the beginning of the story, Elizabeth was trying to convince her parents to get her what might be considered more of a normal pet. Maybe not the horse, but the dog, the cat, and then a couple of the other smaller animals. She gave reasons for why they would make the perfect pet, and her parents then gave reasons for why it would not be perfect. And then she found Doug. She convinced her parents, with good reasons and examples for those reasons, why Doug made the perfect pet. So I want you to remember next week as you're working on your writing, not only do we already know how to write our narratives, remember a small moment in time, our information pieces, remember we're teaching about a topic, and now our opinion. In our opinion, we must state it, we must give reasons for it, and then we give good examples with those reasons. Okay, very good work. Make sure you do your best in writing next week. See you all soon.